Hey guys, it's Graveyard Graham. Welcome back to the Midnight Ride. It's like 10 in the morning. Whatever. I'm gonna post this on the second channel. See this picture here that I'm using for the thumbnail on this image? Yeah, damn it. That probably just tore up my windshield wipers. We got one of these nasty Oklahoma ice storms, and I am sitting in my car with all the heaters going full blast, trying to thaw out my windows before I drive, or else I'm gonna have to bust out the scraper and like actually do some hard work. Anyway, I'm gonna title this video "I Am Not for Sale," and I'm gonna post it on the second channel so that I know that like the only people who see it are gonna be the 8 subscribers that I have here that care about what I have to say. I have unsubscribed from at least a dozen channels that I had been following for years. Back when I was doing acid hauling, I was still home every day, but hours wise, it was basically a long haul job. I was behind the wheel, at least 10 hours a day. And so I was listening to a lot of books and a lot of podcasts. I was finishing, we're talking 15 audiobooks in a month. It was gnarly. And so that's why I kept paying for YouTube Premium, because it gave me a wider array of entertainment to listen to, stuff that I could download and just play in the background and not have to watch it to hear it. Anyway, I've been listening to these guys for a while. A lot of them did cultural commentary, and in the last couple of years, they've all homogenized. I've talked about this on the main channel. Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, the Geeks and Gamers guys. I enjoyed Side Scrollers for a while, but their takes have largely turned out to be the same. And I don't need to watch or listen to 10 channels that are just repeating themselves and covering the same news in the same way at the same time. It's really annoying. So I unsubbed from a bunch of those, and I held on to like 2 or 3 channels, and I've since cut loose on those ones as well. The last one was today, and it was a channel called Nerd Cookies, which I've enjoyed for probably 3 years at this point. But unfortunately, she's gone the same route. She's got a fair amount of subscribers. She's got a good Patreon going and everything. And she used to do a lot of lore breakdowns. But lately, her channel has become more about responses and analyses to TV shows, streaming, movies, and whatever. And she started doing a lot of the stuff that those other channels were doing. And in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed she did this with the Fantastic Four trailer and with the new Jurassic Park trailer. She launched it, and it would come up in my feed, and it was like, I don't need to watch it because I already know what my take is on that. I think the trailer looks good. And her initial take between the thumbnail and the headline were critical. And then a couple of hours later, it would pop up in my feed again. Like, not that she'd reposted it, but your recommendations recommend you the same couple of videos from accounts you follow. And she'd change the wording in the thumbnail and the wording of the headline, and then like the next day it would pop up and it would be changed a third time. She's very clearly altering that stuff in real time in response to what the audience take is, saying what she thinks that they want to hear because, hey, maybe it boosts visibility, it boosts engagement, or whatever. Engagement is great. Attention is currency in the digital world. But like, what's your value if you're just waiting for the audience to tell you what they want you to say? And if all you do is repeat back what they demand of you, then at some point they're going to realize they don't need you. They're like, well, we're building a community. Then go have a community somewhere else. Like, what is this? What is your value if you're just a parrot? It's annoying. It's a little bit tragic, but at the same time, it's kind of liberating, because like it forces me to look at what it is that I'm consuming and listening to and say, okay, well, what am I spending my time engaging with? And are there better books and better channels and better podcasts and everything that I can find if I'm not spending all my time on these that I've been hooked on for years? I had an experience last summer that kind of confirmed to me like the kind of thing that you want to know about yourself, whether it's true or not. And that's that, are you for sale? As an artist, Do you have a vision for yourself as a person? Do you have values for yourself, or do you get dragged along by what people want? There are definitely people whose opinion matters to me tremendously, and they have the kind of rapport with me to where if they called me out about something, I would trust them enough to say, I should probably re-examine this particular behavior or this thing that I believe or whatever. And there are others that they don't have that. They just want to assert their worldview on you and make sure that you repeat it back to them, the way that these audiences do for some of these channels. There's a friend of mine who was a subscriber to the main channel. I doubt that he is anymore. He used to comment a lot on my stuff. And last summer, when the political season was heating up, it was right around the time Trump got shot, and then all the other stuff was going on. I could tell he and I had never talked politics before, but I could tell based on some things he was saying and posting and asking me about that he was on the opposite side of the spectrum, and that he was getting worried that, quote unquote, his side was going to lose. Which is a mentality that I understand because I used to be really wrapped up in it, but also, like, our side should be our country, not our political party, but whatever. And he was, what's the polite way and accurate way of saying this? He was reaching out to those in his orbit that didn't agree and trying to persuade them to his side. The problem is that I was very firm and resolute in how I got to what my position was, and knowing that he was somewhere else, I wasn't going to hassle him about it. We were just going to be two guys that had a different approach to something and leave it at that. Except that he very clearly couldn't leave it at that, and he kept DMing me. He was like, well, why do you think this? I don't understand. I'm confused. Nobody's ever confused when they say that they're confused. It's a manipulation tactic, and the more somebody says it to me, it just pisses me off. I didn't come at him. I told him, I was like, look, I don't argue about this stuff anymore. It just doesn't work. And he responded with this text wall in a DM. And the final line of it was, oh, by the way, I bought that anthology that you're in, and I read your story, and I liked it. And that set off sirens in my head. Because all of a sudden, like, read between the lines, the subtext was very, very clear. What he was actually saying was, hey, I bought access, I expect a return. And I will not have that. My values, my positions, none of that is for sale. All right? For years, I wanted to get published with one specific publisher out in the Mountain West, and they've got titles in their catalog on the New York Times bestseller list. This isn't just some dinky small press. And one of their main editors was following me on Twitter, and the head, or like the CEO of the company, was following me on Twitter. That didn't change who I am or what I'm about. I wasn't going to censor myself or realign myself from the things that I truly believed and held to as right, just to get in with that crowd and, hey, make sales and then become a good little puppy boy wearing the muzzle and only saying what they approve of me to say so that I can have some of the success that I want. I will drive a truck and pimp a hand truck and crush a cargo ramp until I'm 100 years old, if that's what it takes to pay the bills, and keep my art free from the shackles that anybody else wants to put on it. More to the point, I am not for sale. I would really hate to get to the point as an artist, as an illustrator, as an author, as even a creator here on YouTube, where I am dependent on the audience or on whatever for my financial well-being, which, hey, it would be nice to be able to do this full time, but I would hate to get to the point where I had to do whatever somebody told me in order to espouse what I believe. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I think you get it. It's like my values are not for sale. What do I do in my day job? I sell my skills. My art, my expression, those outlets, if I could ever, monetize that, find an audience that, that doesn't care like what it is my personal beliefs are, if they like my art and they'll buy my art and that's it, that's fine, fantastic. If not, whatever. I've got other skills that I will sell, and I will continue to do this as a hobby until the day that I freaking die. I don't care. I am not for sale. You cannot buy me and put a quarter in me and make me say whatever it is you want me to say. That's crap. And I'm embarrassed that there's anybody out there that thinks that I am that way. I feel sad for you. And it's pathetic that there is anybody out there who does act that way. Anyway, rant over. The point is, I've unsubbed from inauthentic channels. I don't support an inauthentic artist. I'll buy a product if it's good. I don't care if the person loves me, hates me, thinks different from me, whatever. I care about art. I care about expression. If the expression and the person that it's funding and all that stuff is extremely, anti-God and like killing people, okay, that's a different animal. But I'm not going to live in this world where, well, not even artists. We're just like people have to be shackled in order to be friends with somebody or to make a sale or whatever. I'm wandering now. I'm just tired and pissed off. Can't think straight. Don't be stupid. All right, we can all be chill and just share the same space. Whatever. Drive safe. See you out there.